Ready to light that fire by doing the things that make you come alive? Welcome to Health Raisers, a podcast for wise women. I'm your host, Dr. Nadine. I left a soul-crushing medical career full of bad news and evolved into a joyful health integration coach, helping hundreds of women find their healthy. You're more than your dress size. Stop putting up with toxic relationships, swallowing your true emotions, and sacrificing your mental health. Stop using your body as a battlefield. You're always giving. You deserve to put yourself first, not just for your sake, but for those you love. Wise women, let's make ourselves a priority right now. It's time to raise some health together. If you're ready to take the first step, visit npkhealthintegration.com and take the free questionnaire to assess where you are in your health journey right now. And if you're ready to take a bolder step into possibility with your health journey, email me at npkhealthintegration.com to learn more about classes and coaching. Hi, everybody. Today, I am so happy to welcome Jessica Tsao, who is a brand marketer, community builder, and podcaster, and a woman I deeply admire, respect, and I've really been looking forward to having on the show because I think, Jessica, that you will provide a deep, rich perspective about how you take care of yourself, your community, what community looks like, what your health journey has looked like. So thank you. Thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you, Nadine. It's wonderful to be here.
All right. So as we're beginning, let's go ahead and dive in with the first question, which is, when I say to you, what does being a healthy woman look like? What does that mean? What comes to mind?
That's a loaded question.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, it's so interesting. Not just a healthy person, but healthy woman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things, many things came to me hearing that question. First of all, I consider a well, self-connected person as healthy. I'm not sure you know this. I grew up in the Chinese Air Force. Since early on in my life, I was not self-connected.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so in the military culture or, in the Air Force culture, there's order to obey. Yeah, there's a demand to follow, command to follow, maybe. Yeah, so there's a lot of things that you do because somebody else asked you to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So from that perspective, there's a disconnection happening growing up in my life. I was born with extra dosage of sensitivity. Mm-hmm. I said it like many times before. And I felt a lot of things growing up, but there wasn't necessarily a space for me to connect that, the sensitivity, the feelings that I had with the deep needs of mine. Mm. Yeah, so I didn't really learn that growing up. And then later on, I learned how to connect that with my needs and with, how to see my needs, how to see my feelings, to align them, to, so this alignment provide peace, provide acceptance, of my being.
So I could definitely hear and relate to this lack of feeling like you mattered because you were part of a bigger thing and you had to obey and follow and repress what you your needs and wants. And I think a lot of women can totally feel that way. It's not an uncommon feeling, but I do want to understand a little bit more about the specificity for you, because I don't want to brush that aside at all, because I cannot relate to your situation specifically. Some elements, yes. So what was the catalyst? What made you decide this is enough and I am going to start prioritizing my needs and my voice?
Yeah, I think that's a process. It's probably all along that I struggled with this misalignment. So that it created a lot of self-doubt for me. And I think in women, it's probably common. It also, many times I felt lost. Because, like on one hand, I know that intellectually, I'm considered intellectually that I'm clear on a lot of things. But this misalignment confused me. It's like, I know better, right? Like why this doesn't fit in my being, or it doesn't fit in my identity. It's like, why I'm so confused around here. It felt like a fog that I wasn't able to see through, and I couldn't find myself.
So what's a particular time or specific memory? Because I understand what you're saying. It's a process, and there wasn't just one aha moment and everything was okay all at once. But what was the start of that rise out of that murkiness?
Yeah, I always refer to like when I hit rock bottom. So there was a time that so it's a accumulated experience with this fog, with this murkiness. And it hit the point where I just couldn't continue with my career. Yeah, so I had this like a huge burnout from the job that I had. I was a sales representative for a manufacturer. And my career get to the point that I just couldn't continue because I was so confused about everything that I was doing. And I decided that, it's time for me to take a career break. And then I started, to have raise family, started to have children. I thought that it would give me some time to really figure this out, to think about it. As little as I know, it didn't. It actually, add on to the problems. Now with the children, with more challenges in life.
Absolutely. Because it sounds like to me, you went from serving the community that you were in, the job, let's call it that. And then you go, okay, I'm going to take a break and figure myself out. Okay, so let's be a mom now, where I get to put my needs on the back burner again. And of course, I'm totally kidding with you, but at the same time, I totally get it.
Yeah. And, speaking of self-disconnection, right? It's like never realized that, I was disconnected with myself all along. And so it went from one confusion to another, and then add on the confusion, and to the point where it's like it doesn't work out. It took tolls on my marriage, and then it took tolls on parenting. I guess like that was a rock bottom that I felt so invisible to the point that I didn't matter anymore. I mean, not just other people don't feel like I don't matter. I don't even feel like I matter anymore. And that's a really miserable place to be. Yeah, the outcome of that is, my husband and I disconnected to the point where if we don't work, really pay attention to that, our family is gonna, we're breaking up our family. Yeah. So, that was like a wake up call. And I started to realize that I need to find myself. I need to go back and then to find myself what I want to do. What
What did you do?
To do. That was after 7-year career break as a stay-at-home mom. I decided to came back to find a job, to find a career, to find something to do, and then to find myself again. And around that time that I started to poke around and look at things. And we have a family business, family branding business. And so at that time, it was really hard for me, for any stay-at-home mom, after a 7-year career break, to find a job again. So I went back to school, and I went back to learning. And it's just nobody would hire me. And I went back to our branding business, saying that, at least like I can start to learn things that my husband has been doing. And so maybe we can work together, which is super hard. But at the same time, it provided this opportunity for me to get to know what Seth Godin's doing, and learn about akimbo. It was really, in the akimbo, I found myself. For the first time in my life, that my sensitivity was not only accepted, but recognized.
And now, here's an ad from our sponsor. In the mood for coffee, tea, yummy pastries, or cool swag? My friends at Infusco have got you covered. Infusco Coffee Roasters is a cozy neighborhood coffee joint in Sawyer and St. Joseph, Michigan. Infusco stands for a healthy community. They craft irresistible seasonal drinks, sourcing local artisans' products. The flavors shine from quality ingredients, and their beans are roasted on site. They do not hide behind tons of sugar. Every time I go, I'm greeted by my name with a smile. Bad service is just non-existent. It feels like stepping into a friend's living room. They keep it personal. Old school, eclectic coffee mugs on the wall, fun merch, including stickers designed by artists, t-shirts, and sweatshirts. It's the perfect place to get to know your neighbors and chat with tourists. You will always find people deep in conversation. Special events keep it fresh. Community, health, the heart of Sawyer. That's Infusco. I hope to meet you there. Okay, so I did want to get to community and what that means to you. So I've heard different forms of community as you've been talking. The first one, which was family oriented and in a different culture. And then your family culture, that's another community. And then we go to finding this online community in Akimbo, where you started to actually feel like you could be yourself. So what does a healthy community mean to you, or sound like, and look like?
I thought about this a lot, actually. So especially in the culture that we're in the US, that it's a very common to come across the communities where there's a hierarchy for people to fit in. And Akimbo is a very different community. That I learned a lot being a member in this community. So in the nonviolent communication world, we call it two different power dynamics. One is power over, the other is power with. So healthy community to me is the kind that a power with people. And I think Akimbo is the power with.
So how does the individual thrive in that dynamic versus the other?
Like Seth said, that everyone wants to be seen and heard. And it's harder to see and hear people in the power over dynamic. And I think for people to feel, not just saying that I want to be seen and heard, for people to truly feel that we are seen and heard, there's a space, there's a room for people to own, for everyone to own that space.
So
as
it sounds,
ownership.
Okay, so I'm hearing agency, and I'm also hearing that it's not just enough. It's never been enough for you to be just physically healthy. It's been really important to you to be someone who is emotionally, socially, mentally healthy as well, and safe. Does that sound, am I hearing that correctly?
Yeah, absolutely. And also I think that you say like emotionally, socially feel safe. It's also, it's like an internal alignment, right? A self-connection, internal alignment. And in this internal alignment, when we are feeling disconnected, it has impact in our physical well-being. It may not show immediately, but in the long run, this misalignment can turn into a chronic illness.
Did that happen for you?
Yeah, that happened for me. Yes. Speaking from experience.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally hear you. As I said, I can totally relate to a lot of what you were saying, feeling very lost, feeling misunderstood, unsafe, feeling like I had to prove myself all of the time. And it was just exhausting. It did lead to burnout. It led to depression. And it was manifesting. All of this was manifesting itself in my body as well. Headaches, neck aches, this was aching, that was aching. And I'm chasing, this physician to take care of this and this physician to take care of that. And it's all connected.
Yeah.
So if you were to think about your relationship with your health and the journey you've been on, what have you definitely had to let go of? And what have you had to embrace? And what do you want to continue to grow into?
Yeah, one big thing that I constantly remind myself of is my desire to control things.
Yes.
I can see that you relate to that too.
Yeah. That's not been a fun lesson. Yeah.
Yeah. So this self-connection taught me to pay attention on my needs. And a lot of time it means like a let go of control. So is that important to have a clean house? Absolutely. But when I'm in needing of rest and to do something else, or I have other needs, then I could let go. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm still learning. I'm not saying that I'm expert on that or I'm doing really well. It's like, for me, it's like lifelong learning.
Well, that's a process. It's a journey. I know that sounds cliche, but it's true. It's changing. I look at our relationship with our health, with our overall well-being and all of those dimensions, whether it's socially, your relationships, your body, your mental well-being, your emotions, your spiritual well-being. All of those things are always in flux. They're never quite balanced. There are always opportunities to find what needs a little bit more grooming, what's okay right now, what we can let go of, what we need a little bit more of. It's like a cell. It's like a human cell. It's never perfect. It's always in flux, trying to maintain homeostasis, obtain homeostasis. And I look at our whole lives as women as the same thing. We're learning. Our situations are always changing. Mm-hmm. We are growing older. And so what does it mean to be a healthy woman with acceptance in flux, in evolution?
Yeah. Beautifully said.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. hard-won lessons that continue as well. So, Jessica, as we're kind of winding down now, because we've had this very light conversation,
Yeah.
if you were to ask the women in my virtual living room, in our living room right now, a question about her health, their health, what would you ask them?
It's almost like, what is the thing that on your mind that bothers you, that maybe something that you don't even want to share with others?
That's beautiful. And then I would add, and what are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
I love that. I love that, because too often we do, as women, we're conditioned to suppress, behave. This is what a woman looks like. This is what she's supposed to sound like. And it is so important not to kill that part of yourself.
Yeah, totally. I think we all know inside, we all know what it is. There's always that thing, or there's something that we all know, but it's just hard to say sometimes, because, like you said, we're conditioned to not to say it, but we know.
I couldn't have said it better myself. So I thank you so very much for sharing your wisdom today and talking about your health journey with me. Wise women, stop using your body as a battlefield. Move from last place to first place in your life. Let's raise health together. Take the first step and visit npkhealthintegration.com for a free health questionnaire. Ready for more? Email me at npk@npkhealthintegration.com to learn more about classes and coaching. And let's start a conversation. Thanks for listening and taking this time for yourself. See you next time.